This is clip 7. We have to talk about the Shita of the Rambam regarding an issur Shifcha. This shir too, the entire shir, is my stuff, my Torah. I did not hear this. Most of it is foreign. I did not hear this from the Rosh Hashiva. The Rambam Nisuri Bia, Perik Yud Beis Aloch Yud Aleph, writes that issur Shifcha is only midrabanan. Now, Ben Chayrin, if he's boil Shifcha, he's not over an issur deraisa. The issur loisia kadesha, according to the Rambam, does not refer to a Shifcha. Now the Gemara, the Achronim, ask from the Gemara on Daf Chaf Aleph, Amud Beis. It's our sugya, it's our area. It's Ivri. The Gemara over there asks the Shaila, can a Kayan, if he becomes an Eved Ivri, can a Kayan be mutter to take a Shifcha? The Gemara says Chiddush hu, Lo yishna Kayan, Lo yishna Yisrael. Since it's a Chiddush, so the Torah says a Chiddush. You have your Chiddush that you're allowed to take a Shifcha. So it makes a difference whether you're Yisrael, whether you're a Kayan, or and the Gemara says, or the Gemara says that maybe that perhaps Kohanim, who have more mitzvahs, so the heter for a Shifcha Knanis does not apply to them. They have more mitzvahs anyway, so they have another mitzvah that they can't take a Shifcha Knanis if they become Eved Ivris, Avadim Ivriim. Now, according to the Rambam, there's no chiddush that a shifcha is mutaris. Shifcha, but in Eved Ivri, shifcha in a Yisrael and anybody, because there's no issur for a shifcha according to Rambam. There's no loisia kadesha does not refer to a shifcha. Even if he's not an Eved Ivri, there's no. It's only in midrabanan. So we don't find that the Torah was mater the issur for an Eved Ivri Yisrael. So therefore, why should we think that the Torah a Kayan is awesome? Because it's definitely an issur for a Kayan. So because he has it's not mishum loisia kadesha. It's other issur, probably zainim, whatever the case be. But for sure, a Kayan is mutter, and Mamela is aser. So what's the Gemara's shaila? What's the chiddush from? What's the limud from the fact that Yisrael is mutter? Yeah. Okay. So the Gemara, the Chaim al Shas, not Chaim al Rambam, Chaim al Shas, on Kedushin Daf Chaf Aleph Amud Beis, he asks another kasha. The Gemara in Torah says that if you make up between two owners, two adains of an Eved Ivri, makes up that they're going to put this guy's Eved Ivri, two owners of avodim. One owner has a Shifcha Knanis, one owner has an Eved Ivri, and they're going to decide that they're going to put the Eved Ivri together with the Shifcha Knanis. And is the payment? The Gemara says the payment. The Mishnah tomorrow. This is Chaf Tesam and Aleph. Mishnah says that the payment is considered asnan. It's not going to be asnan if it's kesef, because the kesef then, if you use it to buy a korban, then the issur doesn't transfer. But if you give an actual taleh, let's say in behemoth is kosher mizbeach, it's kosher. It's possible because it has a din asnan. The Gemara says, the Gemara kasha shifcha is mutter for an Eved Ivri. So why would it be called asnan? And the Gemara says, teretz. At first the Gemara thought we were talking about an Eved Knani. I have an Eved Knani, you have a Shifcha Knanis. I'm going to put the two together, and I'm going to pay you a tleh for it. And the Gemara says that's asnan. And for the Gemara, an Eved Knani is certainly mutter. And for the Gemara, it's an Eved Ivri. Yeah. So the Gemara, guess what? An Eved Ivri is also mutter in the Shifcha. So where's their asnan? And for the Gemara comes out at the end that it's talking about a case where he does not have an Ashes Ish an isha Yisraelis, so therefore he could not take a shifcha, the Eved Ivri. We're talking about an Eved Ivri, but he doesn't have a Yisrael, an isha Yisraelis, so he doesn't have the right to take a Shifcha Knanis. Now, so the question is, according to the Rambam, there's no issur Shifcha Knanis for anybody. It's only the Rabbanan. So why are we talking about when we're not talking about a Kayan here? We're talking about Yisrael. So why is there Esnan? Right. So I mean, so let's say he Ein Rambam Moisel or Shifcha Knanis, because if you don't have an issur Yisraelis, you don't get the Shifcha. It's not mutter. You don't get a Shifcha Knanis. So we don't hold like the Ritva. If the rabbis ain't a meiser, the rabbis then it's also, yeah. But but it's not also anyway. It's never also, yeah. Midaraisa, yeah. So why does the Gemara say Eved Ivri is Shifcha is mutter for an Eved Ivri? What do you mean? Shifcha is mutter for a Yisrael ben Chaim too. What's the whole Gemara talking about? And on top of that, what does it help that he doesn't have issur Yisraelis? He there's no issur if he takes a Shifcha Knanis, there's no issur deraisa, according to Rambam. So the Reb Chaim is mechanish that even though there's no lav for to be boil a shifcha, the issur Leisi Kadesha does not refer to a shifcha. I do believe that according to Rambam, issur Leisi Kadesha is talking about a pnuya. That's another pnuya but it's not a regular panibol pnuya. Saying she's a muchenes, she's a zayna, and she always it's like that's her job. Mikomakom. Haltach the Rambam says the Reb Chaim that it's a bias znus. Even though there is no issur of Yisrael to a Shifcha Knanis, but the bia is called a bias znus, and therefore the payment, the wages of such a bia would be dehav din esnan, the Chaim wants to bring a raya that we do find such a thing because Rebbe Lazar the Tana holds that Aponi ala pnuya makes her a zayna, and she's also now to marry a kain. It's not necessarily an issur, but it makes her a zayna, right? And it's also called and the wages for it is called esnan. That's a Gemara in Tamor Daf Lamed Amud Aleph. Now you see from there that even though there's no issur b over here because she's a pnuya, it doesn't say that there's an issur a lav with a pnuya. All he says is that it makes her a zayin and a kaim can't take her anymore. But it's still considered znus because for haraya that the wages, the damim that he paid for the bia is considered esnan, even though it's only upon a pnuya. There's avada no lav, or maybe only according to Rambam, but even then, but it's still considered as a bia znus, right? So now we could say over here also that by shifcha it's a bia znus, and even though nobody holds like Rebbe Lazar, because Rashi Tamor Lamed says that nobody holds, only Rebbe Lazar holds that panibol pnuya is also zayna, and it's a bias, but we don't hold that it's a bias znus. But Shifcha Knanis is worse. So the Rambam holds that because there's no tvisas kedushin on a Shifcha Knanis. Amadai melech hamor. So Mela, the Rambam cannot hold. I mean, he doesn't hold like Rebbe Lazar. Nobody holds like Rebbe Lazar, but he could still hold that a Shifcha Yisrael Shabo ala Shifcha is considered a bias znus, and Mela it has the wages for the bia is considered esna. Why? Because it's worse than a pnuya, because it has a din of a bia znus, even though there's no bia issur. So therefore, that's the Rambam. But Rashi clearly doesn't say like, because Rashi says in that sugya in tomorrow Lesel Tana de Issur Esnan, El Reb Lozer, right? L'chude. So Shifcha Knanis it wouldn't be considered an esnan, because the only time that holds it, if a bia is mutter, it's considered esnan is Reb Lozer. That means that if Rambam holds that the bia of a Shifcha Knanis, he saw it to Shifcha Knanis as a bia muteris, then he wouldn't hold that it's Rashi wouldn't hold that it's shaykh to say that it's she has a din zayna. So the Chaim wants to say like this. The Gemara says that it's not going to be considered asnan, because if it's an Eved Ivri to a Shifcha Knanis, you're saying that there is an issur. The answer is that since when the Torah said that in the Rav is Mosel Shifcha Knanis, the Torah said that it's not even a znus. So therefore, why should it have the nesna, right? Honor Yisrael, not an Eved Ivri, it's a znus, so therefore it would consider nesna. But since an Eved Ivri, the Torah says it can take a Shifcha Knanis, so the Torah must mean that it's not a znus, so therefore there wouldn't be esnan. So that's why the Gemara has to say it's something that he doesn't have a Isha Yisraelis, and then he doesn't have the right to take. He doesn't have the din to take the Shifcha Knanis, and he doesn't have the din to take the Shifcha Knanis. So then it is a piyasnus, and it is the wages are esnan wages. Okay, let's go back to our Gemara on Daf Chaf Aleph on Beis in Kedusha, and the Gemara says that once it's nischadish that an Eved Ivri Rabbi Moshe Shifcha Knanis, so therefore there's no difference between a kain and Yisrael and a kain. Right, so now we could say that pshat according to the Rambam is that vibalt it's not, it won't be znus for Yisrael, yeah. So therefore it also won't be znus for a kain, and it doesn't have a din of a bia znus, and as long and therefore a kain could take her, and then or maybe perhaps no, but for a kain it will be bia znus. That's what the Gemara's shaila is. It's not that where Moore was talking about that a heter of and an issur, that Vibalta Torah was mata the issur, because according to Rambam, there was never an issur, so the Torah wasn't mata the issur to a Yisrael and Eved Ivri. The Torah just said that it's not a bias nus. So therefore, if it's not a bias nus for an Eved Ivri Yisrael, so it's not a bias nus for an Eved Ivri Kohen, and or maybe no Kohen has for every Kohen it'd be a bias nus. Male Kohen could not take a Shifcha Knanis. Okay, and okay, okay. The Shifcha the Grach asks on himself, Shifcha sheets truma. So if she would be also to a kain, she would be considered a zayna. And for Taisus and for the Chaim, I'm not saying that the Rambam holds that she is a zayna. The bia is a bia znus, but she's not a zayna. Now she can eat truma. That's a big chiddush. I mean, it would need a lot of explanation, which I'm right now not able to do. I'm just telling you over what Reb Chaim said. So now according to the Rambam, everything is good. The Gemara and Kedushin is good. Okay, fine. That's the end of Reb Chaim. Now, the problem is that the Chaim doesn't address is, why would the Rambam do this? Why would the Rambam, after all these Gemaras, wouldn't Pashut Pshat be that there is an issur of a Yisrael, not an Eved Ivri, to a Shifcha Knanis? There's a Gemara in Kedusha, there's more and tomorrow. Why come to the conclusion that no, there's no issur, but there's a bias nus, as a din esnan? Well, so I'm going to say a pshat, my own pshat. Brought before in the previous shurim, the Gemara Yavamis, an ayin by the beginning of Perka Oral, that says that an Eved Ivri and an Eved that was Nimkar L'Shesh, and an Eved that became a Nirtza, is he is Chayiv in Korban Pesach, And we don't say he has a din like an Eved Kanani, which is potter and issur to eat a korban pesach. Because the Gemara says, because you see that this Eved Ivri doesn't eat truma. So just like since he doesn't have truma, so therefore he's Yisrael Malya, and he has a chi of korban pesach. So Tais has the kasha, the other Rishonim also has the kasha, that what the Gemara says in Kedushin Tazayin, that an Eved Ivri is, and so the Gemara says, therefore you see that since the Eved Ivri doesn't eat truma, that it's enguf konui, and therefore he's Yisrael Malya, and he has a chi of korban pesach, and Frank Taisus, but the Gemara did say that he has gufay konui. He did say something. The Gemara, so Taisus says the Teretz that we weren't referring to his status as a Gavri Yisrael, he's a Gavri Yisrael Malya. He's just saying that the Gemara says that you can't use mechila to free him. You can't use dibber. You have to give him a shtar shikhr, because there's a kinyan haguf in mumminus here. He's not a chavtz of mummin. He's not kishara kachamara like an Eved Kanani, but he is. You have a din dekel peiros. That's what we learned in Taisus. But so Le'inyan mitzvahs, he's not. There is no change in the status of a yid. That's what according to Taisus. Yeah. So now we can say another shot like the Rambam. The Rambam learned different. The Rambam would say, he's fried Taisus Akasha over there in Yavam Sa. He's mutter to a Shifcha Knanis. So Taisus over there says that's a result of the fact that's the Avdus. Since you kind of in him a kinyan Lagabi Avdus, Lagabi service. So therefore, that's part of the din Avdus in him, and therefore that gives him the heter, but it doesn't change his status. And the Rosh Shiva had said pshat that's not the pshat, is that anything you got to do for the Adon, anything for the Adon, all for the Adon, all for the boss, the Adon, and that's mater an issur Shifcha Knanis, because then you have the Avnuim's kasha. I was let him be Machal Shabbos. The Adon needs stuff done on Shabbos. He needs a Shabbos guy too. So all these services let the Eved Ivri be free to be Machal Shabbos, and of course that's absurd. Yeah, and of course, so the Rosh Shiva, that's not the pshat. Is there's a din avdus of being miled for the Adon, and since that's one of the services that you buy when you buy an Eved Ivri, so that's matter the Eved Ivri. But there's no, you don't buy a particular service of being Machal Shabbos. There is in the avdus of Eved Ivri, there's a din to be miled bonim for the Adon. That's Avodas Laila, that's Mishnah Schar Socher. So there, but Mikol Makam, all there is, according to the Taisus, is a Gufakani Indian moment, but he's still so Mali, and therefore, and it's a raya that the Gemara says in Yavam, that it's a raya from the fact that he does not eat truma. It's a raya that nothing changed as far as his personal status as a Yisrael Gomer. Now we could say pshat like this. According to Rambam, it's not like that. Come learn different. He's chalak and Taisus, and he holds that the actual din mammon would not force a din of shtar shecher. You could still be Michael, right? And why? Because he holds that the avdus of Mishnah Sar Socher of Avodas Laila to be Miled Avodim Kananim would not be mater. If there is an issur of Shifcha Knanis to Yisrael, it's not going to be mater. Yeah. So why is an Eved Ivri mater from Shifcha Knanis? Must be there's no issur. Even for Yisrael, not an Eved Ivri. Right? Okay. So I want to go a little bit into. So what does it mean Gufi Koni, and why, what does the Rambam hold in regard to why an Eved Kanani needs a shtar shikhr, and according to Rambam, and why is it different than, why does the Gemara and Yavam say that ain't Gufi Koni? Okay, So we want to bring down another Rambam in issur Bia Parakut Gimel Halacha Yud Beis, and it's number 39. And over there we already mentioned it in a different share. It's a machlokes in Rambam Taisus if you b'shas you're going to you're preparing to be meshacher a Shifcha Knanis, can she be toivel before you give her the shtar shechur? A Shifcha Knanis has to be toivel to become a Bas Yisrael Gomer. She has to be toivel after the shtar shechur. So could she do the tevila before the shtar shechur? Taisus and Yivamis Mem Zayin Omed Beis the Ramaskal Ger Ve'Eved says that you could do the shifcha can be toivel before she gets the shtar shechur, and when she gets the shtar shechur, she becomes a mutter and ganzen to Yisrael. But the Rambam says no. You can't. The Rambam would hold that you cannot be toivel beforehand. You have to dafka be toivel after the shtar shechur. The tefillah beforehand is worthless. And so what's the machlokes? The machlokes is what did when she became a Shifcha Knanis, or when a person's not born as a Shifcha Knanis, you buy from the guy a shifcha, she has to be toivel. So the question is, what does that tefillah do? The Rambam says that it's mitzvah scares, and she becomes that's how she becomes Yisrael. And so what is the tefillah after the shtar shechur? That's a kind of gemar, right? So because of that, since the tefillah is not to become a yid, you're already a gyaris in part from the first tefillah. So the second tefillah is not for gyaris. So then you can't do it before the shtar shechur. I'll explain why. But Taisus holds that an Eved just for so a Eved Ivri and a Eved Knani and a Shifcha Knanis, the tefillah beforehand is a tefillah of avdus. You're still a goy. We said this before. Taisus holds that a Shifcha Knanis and an Eved Knani is still a goy, but he has his chal in him avdus mom, and she becomes kashar chamar. He's a shtik moment, and as a result of the avdus that's chal, he's a shtik moment. He has mitzvahs. So how Taisus, if you're an akum, so what would happen if you're getting a shtar shechur? So why should you become Yisrael? You should revert to being an akum. The avdus is gone, so then you're left with an akum over here. Teretz says, according to Taisus, the second tefillah is a tefillah of gerus, and it has to be the tefillah, the avdus that he had b'shas when he was an Eved, the Eved Knani and Shifcha Knanis, forces the tefillah to become a tefillah of gerus, and it's mechayiv in the mitzvahs, right? And it's mitzad the avdus that this tefillah is mechayiv in the mitzvahs. So and the din of avdus says that when you give him a shechur, the avdus is not going to allow him, the release of the avdus is not going to allow him to become an akum back and turn back into an akum. No, first he's before that happens, the avdus is going to force him, just like the avdus forced him to do the mitzvahs, even though he's still an akum. So the avdus is going to force the din a gerus yisrael on him. So mela the tefillah is the tefillah. Yeah. So but the tefillah, right? So according to Taisus, it's not the tefillah that makes him a Yisrael. The din is that when you meshacher the avdus doesn't let him go and turn back into a akum. It's the din in the avdus says if the avdus is going to leave, so then the avdus forces him to become a Yisrael. So it's not the tefillah. So who cares if it's before the shecher? It's not if you're an Eved, so and Samela, 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 if you and you have to be Taivol L'Shem Gerus, so how could you do that while you're an Eved? Teretz says it's not. You don't need to be a ger al yedei the tefillah. You become a ger al yedei, you become Yisrael al yedei the shtar shichur and the avdus, because that forces the din of Yisrael on you, and so what do you need tefillah for? Teretz says it's an ikuf. It's an extra din. Yeah, actually, it's a din. It's not in the chalois. It's not that you need it for. It's an ingredient that is necessary for gerus, but it's just a din that if you don't have this, the chalois is not chal. So let's just say it's an ikuf. It's not chalois is another subject, and it's another din. It's another day, and it's another dollar. So how taisvis that since the tefillah doesn't make the gerus of a shikhr, so therefore it's the shikhr itself that makes the gerus. So who cares that the tefillah was done first? And it's only an ikov. So if you did the tefillah shem gerus, and then you gave the shtar shikhr to the shifcha, so then you could be that's why it was the case over there was that you wrote her a shtar that says let this be a shtar shikhr and let this be a shtar kedushin. So the more asked the kasha. So then the Taisus asks the kasha. So where's the tefillah? So why says the tefillah is before? Problem on the Rambam would be a problem because if how can the tefillah come after? Then how could the kedushin be? Okay. So now, right. The Rambam, he doesn't learn that this whole thing about the Avdus forces for he's an Akum, she's a Goya, and therefore if you remove the Avdus, it would become back to being an Akum, right? So what forces what would force the Geras? The answer is the Shikhr itself, because there's a din and an Eved Kanani and a Shifcha Knanis that if the Avdus forces the if you remove the Avdus, when you remove the Avdus, the Shikhr forces the Geras, and the tefillah is only necessary at the Tanai and the Chalas. It's a Tanai, it's an Ikuf, because the tefillah is not a Geras. It's the Shikhr that makes the Geras. But according to Rambam, the Rambam says that the original tefillah to become a Shifcha Knanis by a Yid, when the Yid bought the Eved Kanani, is the original tefillah is a Geras. It's Mikzas Geras, and this is the tefillah at the end is a Gemar and Geras. So you can't do that while you're an Eved. You have to do it after you're Ois Eved, after you give the Shtar Shikhr. Because according to to Rambam, the gavra of an Eved Kanani, the gavra, the status of a Shifcha Knanis is that they have a din Yisrael, but they only have mitzvahs k'isha, and they get that from the tefillah Rishona. So the tefillah Shniya is a completion in the Geras, and that's why the Rambam says that it's mitzvahs Geras, and it means to say that the second tefillah is and the Rambam says that the second time at the end when you give him shikhr, you don't say that the Eved has to have kabbalas mitzvahs. If it's a Geras, right? So according to if this is going to be a Geras, the tefillah is going to make Geras, right? So there would be a problem. Where's the kabbalas mitzvahs? The Teretz said it was by the first tefillah. According to Taisvis, there is no kabbalas mitzvahs because it's not the tefillah that does anything. If it would be a tefillah that would make the Geras, you'd have to have a tefillah with kabbalas Geras. But according to Taisvis, it's a shikhr, so you don't need kabbalas Geras at all. This is a big Kiddush according to in the Chaim. Now, just I want to. This is the answer. The answer is, according to Rambam, it's not the Avdus, and it's not the Shikhr. It's not the Avdus that gives him a din a chi of mitzvahs, the Shifcha Knanis and the Eved Kanani, and it's not the Tefillah, according to according to Taisus gives the din mitzvahs. It is the tefillah. It's a tefillah. It's not the abdus. It's a tefillah. The tefillah is a mitzvah scarce. But the fact that he would become an Eved Ivri, an Eved Knani, and he'd have abdus of a Yisrael on him, that would not be any factor in creating chiyuv mitzvahs. Mele zet medach so it doesn't. It's not mile and myra. There got to be issur. It would make him issur, and the shasai loisa say wouldn't make him mechuyev and ramachasei. So Abdus doesn't do that. It's got to be. It's the tefillah that the Eved did fine. But so Abdus, since Abdus doesn't do that, so if you have a Shifcha Knanis and she has Abdus, so what? Abdus is not a factor in producing chiyuv isurim and chiyuv mitzvah. Yeah. So therefore, it's not a factor and she's Yisraelis. It's not a factor. It's not a factor in. It doesn't make her usher. It's not a factor in an issur making her usher to a Yisrael. That's and I don't want to go into that whole Reb Chaim al Rambam, but Reb Chaim al Rambam wants to say that b'shas she's a Shifcha Knanis, she's a bas kedusha. That's like socks to you. And over then there's a ikuv of Amadaim al Chamor. It's not be'etzim. There's something like a nakom. A nakom is not a heftzif kedusha. It's not a bas kedusha. A nakom is not a bas kedusha. He's a nakom. She's a nakom. Yeah. So therefore, it's not shach kedusha with a nakom. Yes, but by Shifcha Knanis, the Reb Chaim learns that Rambam holds that she would be a bas kedusha, but it's only an ikuv of Amadaim al Chamor. So therefore, it's not more easier to understand that she's Yisrael, that there is no issur of Yisrael to a Shifcha Knanis. So then the Reb Chaim and Al Shas says there might not be an issur, but there's the bia is a bia znus. Again, this has been clip 7.